What has 2 thumbs and just hit 20 hours on his Jem'Hadar? That's right, this guy.
Like, literally as we were getting ready to start the show.
Literally as the countdown expired. That was the moment. But anyway, I'm also Drogan1701, host of the Foundry Roundtable. With me is DuncanIdaho and Greendragoon.
Hello.
And since we just spent a good 2 hours the other day giving all of our thoughts on Victoria's life, we thought today we'd do just a little bit of Foundry. And in this case, a mission playthrough.
Actually, one last thought from Victory's Life, and I'll share it in picture form. You guys may know which one this is.
It's a little follow-up from our previous mission.
Indeed.
Dragoon will put that on the stream here.
Hang on, takes me a sec to load it up.
And in the meantime, I can actually switch. I'll get over to the F-Here Nebula.
As will I. So the mission that we're going to be playing today is called Patheon Episode 1. It's part of a planned 6-part series. This was posted by Ray's Durile on the forums. Picked this one because I have no idea who that is. I don't know if this is their first mission or not. It doesn't say. But like to kind of play some of these that from maybe not so established or famous authors, to get them some plays and to seek out new talent. That's always good.
I think his handle is at Matt_Jerrickson. Insto.
Yes, Matt_Jerrickson. So the summary says, you receive an emergency communication from Starfleet asking you to investigate a previously abandoned Romulan lab, which holds a secret that unlocks a lost period in the galaxy's history.
The period when everyone wore silly hats and dinosaurs roamed the interstates.
We don't have nearly enough silly hats in the Foundry, or Stowe in general.
We're in Stone. We're getting there. And the old Anisat's pretty silly.
This is true. The hat, unfortunately, is not in the Foundry, at least not that I've seen.
Not yet, but you can be sure that if I put a list together of things that might help Kale to organize which things we would want to have added, that's going to be at the top. Because it's such a good hat for a lot of different things, because there's just so much going on with that hat. You can just take any one aspect and just blow that out to a full character. Like, for example, really cheap robot.
All right, so let's hail the mission.
Oh, did we get that screenshot up there?
Yes, I showed it.
Okay. Yep, so yeah, that's what my interpretation of Season 15 is going to be.
Fleet Admiral, we have an incoming transmission from Starfleet Command. We are ordered to the F-Here Nebula, where we will receive further orders from Admiral Jerrickson.
Hey, and look at that. We're already at the F-Here Nebula.
I'm almost there.
Well, when I said we, I meant everyone important.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
We can read through this while he's getting here. Does anyone in particular want to take Admiral Jerrickson?
Fleet Admiral, thank you for coming. I need you to investigate the Hunor system. We have received reports of a rogue lab operating on Hunor, when the colony was abandoned in the wake of the Hobus event. We suspect the Romulan Star Empire is behind this. The planet is heavily guarded. Long-range scans have found elevated levels of tachyon and chronoton particles. If the Romulans are messing with time travel, we need to stop them. Report your findings to me.
All right. I see a Duncan, so are we ready to start?
Yep.
We're in.
Whoosh.
Prepare for incoming teaming bug.
Well, that's why I brought this ship. The USS Kilmajig.
We won't get it on the first map. Second map, but probably not first.
Yeah. Done. Dun 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 done.
All right, so the random things we talk about during the black hole time. I've been thinking about an all engineering away team.
I've done that on my Klingon officer. The way you do that, horrendous amounts of mines and turrets. So it works best.
I kind of figured.
It works best on a Klingon officer where you've already got your duty officers that are spawning more turrets, spawning more support drones, and it's just you have built yourself a fort. We have come out of warp behind Honor's moon to avoid detection. Our first objective is to disable the early warning system ahead of us. Once we have done that, the rest of the fleet will warp in and take on the Romulans while we try to punch a hole through the lines and land ground forces.
Disable 3 early warning satellites.
So
Okie dokie.
this is not a complaint specifically against this author, because Stowe's done this too. So how do you disable an early warning system without being detected by said early warning system?
Good question.
Very carefully.
I'm running forward and I'm just doing the space magic. Yep.
Oh, we got ships.
So the answer for this one is you don't.
Yep, basically.
Take it out without getting detected.
So it looks like I'm flying the Atlas. Drogon is flying the Crossfield, and Duncan, looks like you're flying one of the Andorian ships.
Yep.
Got 3 different eras represented here. Discovery, TOS, and sort of Enterprise.
Yeah, disabling the early warning system. Interesting move for like just setting up a interactive at the first step, but if it's gonna like engage straight on, do you really need to go through that plot point? It's just there's lots of Romulan ships here. Why don't we have dialogue with the captain and just say, hey, we're wondering what's going on. Captain's like, I'm you. We build character out of villains here and justify why we didn't just say ask first. Oh, active.
You're sort of cutting in and out here.
Oh, sorry.
Me. I don't know if Duncan was experiencing or Dragoon was experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't understand a word you just said.
Okay. Move the mic closer to my face. That might be an improvement. Okay. So anyway, I'm just sort of questioning right now, if we went through the trouble of disabling the early warning satellite with all that dialogue, and then just to engage the fleet, why didn't we just engage the fleet?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, I do
Surprise.
appreciate the effort to put more objectives onto space maps.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely sort of a nice touch there. I'm just thinking that the author could expand it out a little bit more and actually have some interplay with the enemy. Because that's something that I see a lot of first authors do, is just not give the enemy enough of a presence in the mission. And it's usually who's pushing you along is like this Admiral, of just some support character giving you the next objective. And this kind of fits into like modern style shooters, which are basically go, 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 go. So I think it's how some people are maybe approaching this. The art of game design is maybe a little bit less story focused and more gameplay focused.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Good work. All ships, the early warning system is down. Drop out of warp and engage all enemy vessels. I need you to lead the main push and help us break through. I'll keep the bulk of the fleet engaged near the edge of the system.
There's a transporter inhibitor field coming from the Romulan station ahead of us. We need to disable that field before we can beam down our ground forces. Disable it. Just want to check one thing real quick. Oh, I've already reviewed this mission. Not some of the stuff is familiar.
Hopefully you liked it.
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars.
Well, good. I told Heathen Dog in the chat room that we didn't really know what we were going to be getting into here because
Yeah.
I had no idea what this mission was going to be like. So
Yeah, and I do appreciate right at the start here that there's a lot more going on with the space map than just a planet. I mean, there's the nice complementary background. We've got lots of space stations here. A lot of good effort has been put into the art and also just the environments we're fighting. So over here, it feels different than when we were fighting the enemies at the start of the mission. So good progression, good use of the assets.
the could use a little variation of the height up and down in their assets.
Yeah. I mean, like, one thing that could sort of play to the current position, though, I mean, the space stations kind of, the big ones kind of set this apart, but if you just had these little ones and then had a planetary ring, then you could play around with the fact that these are all on one plane. That'd be one way to do it. But otherwise, yeah, definitely verticality is a good thing to build into these maps.
What I like to do is have my objectives all on one plane, but objects on varying heights. Excellent work. Begin transport of ground forces. You'll need to overcome ground forces and fight out. That's probably supposed to be find. Find out what the Romulan Empire is doing here. There is a lab in the main city square. See if you can make your way there and find out what's so important about reviving this lab's work.
Begin landing ground forces! Wait, give me a character. Boom. We are bringing all artillery unit.
Now they shall fear our names.
Ferengi scream.
Wait, does Holoquark actually do the scream?
We're gonna see. This is the first time I'll use them in combat.
I know they do spout some idle text sometimes.
Curlins is pretty good when he's reviving someone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they play sound effects, though.
Yeah. I mean, the idle text on Curlin, like, if just occasionally just did Curlin here, that'd be great. But yeah, maybe they, that's a little too obvious for them not to have thought about.
Yeah, I guess normally the game doesn't really care who your bridge officers are.
Flying flare. Oh no!
Yep,
You guys can't. Yeah, teaming bug.
Teaming
You
bug.
can't. Yeah, you guys won't be able to see
Won't be able
Holoquark's
to see
first
Quark.
foray. Oh wait, request reinforcements.
Yep. So we're to breach the lab's defenses.
Default lighting, no! One of these days, I'm gonna find a map that works best with the default, like, this lighting, and it's gonna be a little weird.
I mean, as far as maps I can go
wouldn't
with,
say this one
isn't terrible.
Doesn't work.
Oh, it's not terrible. It's just for me.
It's
I
just
always
less interesting.
Oh yeah, I always end up changing it, and that's just kind of why it sort of stands out to me, because it doesn't blend with any of my map work. So it feels like me starting a project for the first time, and I can't shake that.
Well, I do get the sense that this is a relatively new author.
Yeah.
And
What?
relatively new authors don't often think about changing the backdrop
Yeah.
until they
not
start
something that's
learning about
obvious.
that kind of thing.
So, the funny thing, my degree is in 3D animation. And so it's something where I can almost always tell when something is CG as a result of just having stared at it so much.
So you could tell when they were using CG to replace the actor who died in Fast and Furious 7, right?
I haven't seen Fast and the Furious 7.
Well,
But I could definitely tell it in Rogue One. When they replaced the actor who died there.
Rogue One.
Tarkin, they did CG Tarkin.
Oh, well, yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't watch that without thinking CG face, CG face, CG face.
That one was a little obvious.
Okay.
Even to a layperson like me. I mean, there were several.
I don't know if
shots
they've done one where,
but,
like,
there were several shots where it's like, oh my god. Ugh.
I'm entering the lab. It's an interact objective. Okay,
No.
I'm at the.
yeah, it's like,
Okay, so I'm at the entered lab prompt for next map.
okay. I think I got the prompt to come up. So we have the fleet effectively bottled up. Your mission is a go. Find out what the lab is doing and why so many resources have been allocated.
We can enter lab because it's basically the combat objective and then straight to this one.
I'm not quite there yet. One more group, I think.
I heard no screams.
Yeah, it would have been surprising if they had actually put it in, because I don't think...
Yeah. Because, bridge officers generally don't make noise.
That would get a little annoying after a while, I would think.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, twice.
Exactly. Hey, little cat. Ah.
So which one is it?
Judge Cat.
Ah.
Hello, Judge Cat. Do. I am playing with you in a cute way that people can't appreciate because you're on audio.
Still split up.
Oh, you guys haven't answered yet.
Oh, never mind. There you guys are.
You gotta hit the button. Oh, I get Quark now for dialogue.
Well, you get to read it then.
Okay. Actually, no. You know, this is... I know our primary objective
Oh, God.
is to determine... I've been shot outside, so give me some... give me a minute. Determine the use of the lab and stop illegal and or unethical activities, but I recommend we expand our investigation to any data we can find stored in the lab's data banks. There's no telling when we could find what we could find that might be pertinent to our investigation of things.
Noted.
I do kind of have a problem, though, with just the fact that we're conducting an investigation just on the fact that they're using chronoton particles, and we don't have a legal basis for that investigation.
Then technically, chronotons in of themselves are suspicious.
They're suspicious, but, I mean, like, it's something that we would be very concerned about, but here's where kind of like you take a little bit of author license and actually say, hey, we signed a treaty with the Romulans, they're breaking it, and they say that they don't know what's going on with this research facility and it's not one of their operations, deniable operation basically, and we're not going to look into it. So then that precipitates what we're doing. So it feels a little bit less like...
We haven't even standing treaties left with the...
Oh yeah, that's why I basically just say that it's... I would use creative license.
I found a console. Trying to override this is the security system cipher is based on a rotating mathematical conversion program. You have to enter the correct answer on the current cycle.
Oh, wait a minute.
Very well. What is the current cipher?
It appears to be a simple conversion matrix to access the numerical access code. 3 sequences of numbers. Convert base 10 number 5 to base 2. Anybody good at math?
Base 2 is binary. 5 would be
101. Because base 2 is binary, so that's the only one it could be.
yeah.
First sequence unlocked.
I'm getting.
The second sequence requires us to answer a riddle with a number.
Okay.
Security systems don't have enough riddles.
While on my way to Romulus, I met a man on his way to Hobus, where he was to meet his squadron of 12 fighter pilots. Each fighter was assigned to a carrier hangar bay that had a crew of 5 for each fighter. How many people were going to Hobus?
Just 1.
Like an old joke my dad used to tell. We got that one right. The third sequence requires multiple steps. First, I will translate from Romulan time increments to Earth Standard Time. The first problem follows. If it were 2 hours later, it would be half as long until midnight as it would be if it were an hour later. What time is it now? And the choices are 11 p.m., 4 a.m., or 9 p.m.
I'm getting to that point. There we go. Because
It would have to be 9 p.m.
You think?
Because half as long if it were an hour later. So basically it's in thirds.
Okay, we'll trust you.
It's 2.
9 p.m. Correct. Now we need to take the numerical result from the last question and convert it to from base 10 to base 4.
I would just go 40. Oh, don't do 40.
It's not 40. Because base 4 won't actually have the number 4. It can only use... So
then we're at 10 or 21. 10 or 21.
Try 1.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The terminal has shut down. We no longer have access.
That's okay, because I was letting you be the sacrificial, so I could.
Oh, okay, so you could hit it. Okay.
All right, correct. We have the last sequence. 10-1-21. This is the full code we need to unlock the data stored in the terminals around the compound. Displaying content on this terminal now. So 101-1-21. There are multiple entries.
I can't see it, so you'll have to repeat.
Okay, so communications log 4829A. The Romulan says, we have received the artifacts you sent, but don't understand what I am supposed to do with a load of broken preserver artifacts. If you are to restore the Empire, we need powerful allies. These artifacts will give us those allies. All right, so next entry is research log 403. Research log 403. I've been able to recover an extraordinary amount of data from the artifacts. Despite their extreme age and state of decay, they still contain a wealth of data. I have been able to identify 2 very distinct data storage patterns that suggest these artifacts were used and modified by another race of beings. The language seems familiar. I know I've seen it somewhere, perhaps in the history text. The message reads, and then a bunch of something I'm not going to bother to read out because it's this warrants further study. All right, so research log 404. Research log entry 404. I successfully translated the text I found stored in the artifact. It translates to, we have lost our home. We leave for the stars, where we shall begin again. We are the children of Luoric. It took the computer some time to decipher it, given that we no longer have the resources we once did. But it is an old human dialect called Gaelic. What a human dialect is doing in a preserver artifact that predates human civilization is a mystery unto itself. And so the last item is communications log 53818. Admiral Tolar, you asked to be informed of anything I found. Yes, what have you found? This recording. If you're Tolik Molfari. Ivola Mokovo Nuke Kavok. Isar Teri Bermari. Admiral, that recording predates all modern civilization in the galaxy. You will not share this information with anyone. Continue your research. I will fund your research. No one, not even Sela, must know about this. Is that clear? Perfectly, Admiral. But may I ask? You may not. You're on a communications blackout until further notice. Tolar out. And that's everything
Everything the console has to say.
Yep.
Okay, so before we go on, when you guys look to this room over here to the right, do you see empty space?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
It's one of the older
There's
maps
just-
kind of breaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a certain like. Oh,
It's a viz
what's
And
region.
you
it?
actually, and you
Yeah.
actually go
It's when the
into it.
camera crosses into the room that it appears. So if you back your camera out beyond the doorway, everything disappears until you move in.
Yeah, I was actually just having this problem in Warframe, so yeah, I know
Yeah.
Zero's kind of talked about it a little bit too, just in passing in previous streams, but
Yeah, it's a malfunctioning viz region of some kind. It basically stops the room from being rendered when it's out of view.
also imagine, if you will, bad guys. They're all dead.
So
I see.
you went ahead and killed them all.
Because I thought you guys, I thought it was behind you guys, so because I thought you guys had gone up here to the objective, but no. So
No, we had not.
because I didn't see you guys had ducked off to the side there.
Another viz region thing here. I have to actually go in here to see the enemies.
Hit with space stick.
There's a dead Romulan here. How very odd.
I don't think it's quite dead.
I'll make it dead.
The Romulan is dead,
Romulan is dead.
but she has a pad in her hand. Examine the pad. I have been ejected. Oh, did somebody else want to?
Well,
Do this?
because this is the one time this voice would be appropriate.
Okay, go for it.
I've been injected with something. A virus Tolar was working on. I suspect I only have moments to live. Tolar was a fan of the old days, and poison was a favored means of dispatching friends who betrayed you, as well as the carnivorous tribbles. I have programmed the console to send a signal to the Federation in the event of my death. If you're Starfleet, then you must stop Tolar.
Yes,
Now I
the
want to do a
grand
mission that
old
has a
days
pit of
used to get
carnivorous
followed.
tribbles.
The console contains an encrypted copy of all my research data in directory that the poison, oh god, it's made its way to downstairs. That Tolar's people would not be able to find this. Pad holds the access codes. I'm recording this long after they are gone, so I am addressing Starfleet. Please, save my people and my pit of carnivorous tribbles. Please.
Oops, forgot to change the
I'm not dead
picture
yet.
there.
Fleet
Fleet
Admiral.
Admiral, this
Oh.
Romulan was tortured even as she was dying from poison. See, it's clear there's supposed to be another character.
Yeah.
Bridge officer. She has multiple lacerations and broken bones. I'm surprised she lived as long as she did.
I thought she was killed by a virus.
Also beaten up by stuff. We will return her to the Republic for reasons. Is she Republic?
No, I think she's Tal Shiar. At
Yeah,
least,
but we like the
Rom-
Republic.
Let's get the data.
We're not
from
going to return
console.
her to the Empire. They suck.
accessing console.
Oh, you go for it.
There's so much data. It will take some time to process.
Continue.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have another wave of Romulan ships incoming. It looks like we've been drawn into a trap. We need you here. We need you back here as soon as possible.
Continue. I have enough time to pull one large file for analysis and do a raw data dump for the rest of the console for later review. Which file should I pull?
Utopia's Fall.
Utopia's Fall.
This file is about a mind control device. The schematics were uncovered from the information in the artifacts. The device enhances telepathic abilities and makes the subject extremely susceptible to suggestion. The head researcher had marked it as an interrogation device project test, but it looks like Tolar wanted to expand its abilities. His plans were outlined here. Oh no. He created a team of assassins and plans to use them to assassinate heads of the Romulan Republic. Starfleet and the Republic must be informed of this.
Ready to beam you aboard. Oh wait, I'm not that person. But I feel sympathetic. Energize.
Monkey see, monkey do. One officer does it, they all have to.
See, they're very susceptible to suggestion. That means the telepathic device has been engaged.
Oh.
I do like that backstory. I mean, because it's just a little bit more than the minimum you would need to get the mission going. Because there's some thought about world building and doing stuff with the observer.
Well, this guy Tolar clearly has ambitions.
Oh yeah, but what Romulan general doesn't? It's like I want to see a Foundry mission that has a Romulan just in a classic Romulan style, but the general just doesn't want to do anything. It's just meh. Because all we find are these guys. Starfleet, you will die by the order of Emperor Tolar.
So basically, the Romulans are like the Centauri.
Yeah.
Everyone's angling for the throne.
And at odd intervals, they just say, Jakar.
Mr. Garbon. Anyway. Teeming bug.
Teeming bug. I did not blow up. I am running away.
I probably will.
Yeah, they spawned us really close to combat.
Oh, I blew up.
Right.
Calling for reinforcements. It's the USS North Star. Oh.
And it's gone.
Seized by a giant space gorilla. Could only self-destruct. Don't worry.
Well, those space gorillas are no joke,
Yeah. Don't worry. Command anticipated this, and another it's on its way. Oh, wait a minute.
And it's gone.
Tonight, the part of the North Star will be played by my ship, which is blown up again. But in fairness, I'm fighting 5 Mogai.
Yeah, it seems like you got set up with the instance that's still scaled up for 3 people. Oh yeah, while we're waiting, Starfire Theta released his parts because he does want to move on to something else eventually, of our Transcendent series.
Mm.
And these are some fantastic missions, so I highly recommend people play them. And it's Transcendence Parts 2 and 3. Part 1 is in development right now by Paul Sutherland. Part 4 is by me. And that's coming along, but slowly. I think I might need to do one more project to get myself back into the spirit of foundrying first. Because he's been tough.
So how many times will he die? That's the question.
I think we're on 3. I didn't see the start. So we're down to 3. So if we've
3 or
lost
4. I'm on my 3rd or 4th ship.
Okay, so if we've lost 3 or 4 North Stars, how many
But
do
I
we need to
managed to-
send in before they create, like, the debris creates enough of a gravitational vortex that we can win?
Well, I am whittling him down. I'm down to 3, Mogai.
Yeah.
Okay, so I warped out of the mission to see if I could come back through it and get into your instance, and I got into Duncan's instance.
Oh, okay. And then I think we completed it for the last. Yeah, it's just like one more text thing afterwards.
So instead of helping Dragoon, I just get to sit here and watch him die.
Yeah.
Come on, you made it. You enjoy watching me die.
Yes, I do.
Oh, there's another one. I'm really thinking I should have brought Starbuck.
And AEI Judge Cat just made a triple noise. Trying to contribute.
So you use TOS phasers, naturally.
Yep, this is my genuine bona fide TOS character.
Cool. Definitely one of my favorite ships in the game.
Blew up
Clearly,
again,
as
but I'm
I
down
did,
to 2,
as I did
Mogai.
this, clearly as I did this huge lore blog and Foundry challenge about it.
Well, funny thing about this character is I wanted to go all TOS, so even the engines, deflector, and warp core and shields are all TOS. So I had to take. There's no
upgraded.
sets.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
May have gimped yourself a little bit on that build.
Normally not too bad. This is definitely
obviously you're a tad bit outnumbered more than you usually would be. I put pulse phaser dual heavy cannons on mine. It destroys things quickly.
and another one. I always kind of felt like I was cursing the ship when I named it the Horizon.
I don't think I get that reference.
I'm pretty sure it's a ship that blew up in Star Trek. Oh, I'm down to 1. Okay. I blow it up or did it just disappear? No, apparently some Romulans somewhere I still gotta attack.
Did it cloak?
It says I've destroyed 2 out of 3. There they are, another 3.
Another 3 Mogai.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yay! Send in the shuttles. Now, with a liberal interpretation, you could argue that maybe the temporal set has some basis in TOS.
Well, admittedly,
It is
normally I
a
don't
temporal
fight
set.
3, I don't know,
Three
Mogai's
Mogai
classified as
simultaneously.
cruisers or battle cruisers?
Cruisers, but they might be scaled up too with their combat effectiveness with 3 people. Because we've seen this on Legion of Myth stream where they had the teaming bug and Garthon got killed again and again and again by giant mobs of fully maxed out Klingons. And they were pretty much one-shotting him. It was ridiculous. It was worse than this.
Well, they're
Like,
not one-shotting me.
Yeah.
It's just usually he gets enough of them that just the sustained firepower just eats through my ability to heal through it. That's okay. I'm faring pretty well against this set. The other one was 2 sets that had merged together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, he's almost down. There he goes. Yeah, even without set bonuses, this one does alright. The rest of the ships are in full retreat. You did good work, and we have a lot of data to sift through. Clearly, this Emperor, Talar, has become a very real threat, one we will have to deal with presently. For now, see to your ship and crew, and we'll speak again soon. Yay, I survived! After like,
Yay!
6 or 7 destructions.
Okay,
But those
so because
don't
of the
count.
teaming bug, you should be getting the review page, but you're gonna have to drop the mission and pick it back up and then drop it again to get that now.
That is the end of the mission.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I expected that to take longer.
Yeah, it was a relatively short one.
Well,
This
there's a
kinda-
part 2 you said was in review, right?
Yeah, part 2's in review.
Do we want to play it?
Sure.
Why not?
Because I mean, we've only eaten about 45 minutes, so
Yes.
Okay, leave system and let's see. Do we want to swap characters just in case?
that's not a bad call.
Okay. I'm gonna change to do.
Oh. Unslotted a whole bunch of my equipment for some reason. Why did it do that?
Did you swap ships or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, bring out the big guns.
Maybe that's why I was getting killed a little easily.
Oh, wait. Oh, dang it. I gotta go to bank real quick because someone needs to be equipped with... Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, I've already promoted him.
Let's see.
This was a character on which I took advantage of the upgrade weekend that we had recently, and the many upgrades I got out of the Phoenix box.
Yeah, I need to work on upgrading this character.
So
He's the only character I bothered to
I've got
like
a lot of
max out all
14s
my
and
gear.
15s. I didn't have enough for everybody, obviously, because I have many, many, many characters. But I had
now
plenty.
now on PS4 too. They're spreading.
I just have one character over there so far, but it is kind of fun to play. But just sort of a little bit of new style to it, with the the different UI and the your dialogue windows come up in full screen, and it just has a little bit different feel to it.
All right, so we actually have to start at our space dock for this next one.
Okay, I'll be over in just a second. I'm making funny things happen.
In the meantime, Fleet Admiral, we are receiving orders from Admiral Jerrickson to meet him on Earth space dock as soon as possible. Begin the mission by clicking the South Concourse door on ESD.
Alrighty, on my way. I remembered I've got another bridge officer on this one from the recent update.
I think I said on Twitter earlier this week, it's one of my favorite things about Stowe is the variety of ship sizes. So come out of warp with a small ship right next to a Vomf dreadnought.
Yep.
That's cool.
Let's see. Also, there's a couple of Vengeances right here too.
Okay, so what is going to be the South Concourse door?
I think it's...
Oh, it's under the transporter room. It's... not sure if that counts as the South Concourse door, but the mission
the
text says...
under the transporter, wasn't it? Oh, because wait a minute. Let me just make sure let's...
Yeah, I got it. It's right.
Okay, because I've got to pick up the mission. I thought it would just auto-accept from the team, but no. So, okay, we're all good.
Okay.
Entering the conference room.
The Admiral is waiting for you in the conference room.
Give me one buff. Bringing Jimmy K.
So does Jagora represent your most powerful character?
No, but a little bit more survivable. Most powerful, probably my Romulan for space, and then ground would be my Klingon engineer, based on Ilium. The Romulan still gives him a run for his money because he's got basically the vaporizing plasma piercing beam rifle. Dun 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 dun.
It looks like we're all here.
Thank you for coming on such short notice. I wanted to speak with you to share some private concerns I have.
Admiral?
Ever since your last mission, I've been getting some odd requests from Starfleet Command. Requests from your personnel file, as well as those of your crew. Probably should say for your personnel file. They say it's all standard procedure for a post-mission review, and they are correct technically. It is standard procedure to review ship's logs, but the level of detail that is being requested is uncanny.
I don't understand. Am I and my crew in some kind of trouble?
No, at least not as far as I can tell. Something is out of place, and I'm not sure what.
Are people getting a little too into Jagoro?
Admiral, are you accusing Starfleet Command of some type of collusion?
I'm not accusing anyone of anything, yet. I'm sharing concerns and a warning. Watch your back. You've attracted the attention of someone high up in Starfleet Command who knows how to cover their tracks very well.
Ew.
Are you talking about Section 31?
We don't talk about that here. Not in the open. The Admiral stares at you for a moment, but does not answer the question. Okay, this is so far a fairly good way to actually handle Section 31.
Yeah, it's a pretty good job at the start, although it's just...
So far.
The subtext, though, just with what I've written about Curlin or Quinn, it might be like he's finally getting up there and starting a little bit crazy. Just keeps pinging your own profile, your profile all day. Why isn't he calling me?
Anyway.
But yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, I mean, It is a good introduction here. It's much more subtle than the previous one. Well, compared to the previous one, it's much more subtle. There's more intrigue going on, and there's a little bit more use, like this. Yeah, there's a little bit more sort of said but not said about. Yeah.
First rule of Section 31 is you don't talk about Section 31.
I'm sending an appropriate image.
I also wanted to pass along new orders. For the duration of the Nadari assignment, you and your crew are being reassigned to Starsider Station on detached detail. After this mission, you will report there.
Understood, Admiral. What's the mission?
Your ship is to report to Epsilon 485 and rendezvous with an Alliance task force to discuss the discovery of what looks like Nadari ruins.
Aye, sir. We'll depart immediately. Anything further?
No. I'll see you there.
Okie dokie. I'm going to amend that to we don't talk about Section 31. Ready to beam you aboard, Fleet Admiral. We have...
What Section 31? I don't know any Section 31.
We have the coordinates for Epsilon 4-8.
Click the button. Click the button, Frank.
Oh, and Star 4 Theta is guilty of making a whole trilogy of missions about Section 31. But he handles it pretty well. I mean, because Star 4 Theta does good intrigue.
I just always like the people who just put Section 31 just completely out in the open for everyone to see.
I am Section 31. I am doing stuff.
So it's like somebody's standing in the middle of a town square yelling, "I am Section 31.
Come to our offices. We've just opened.
We're recruiting.
Today we
have an excellent health plan.
Have first betrayals."
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the mistakes that people make. I think another one is that they treat Section 31 like an outright villain. Like they're just engaged in villainy for its own sake.
Yeah, and also just kind of like commingling them with Starfleet intelligence.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, it's kind of just the go-to of like, I have a Section 31 person. What about Starfleet intelligence people? They do stuff too. Anyway, though, kill things. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Hail?
Well, teaming bug.
Yeah, teaming bug. Let's see. We hail. We set up. Okay. We talk.
Talk to the USS Roosevelt. Welcome to Epsilon 485. Let me get right to the point. The discovery of Nadari and Romulan Admiral Tolar's obsession with their power has caused great concern in the Alliance. The Klingons think we should acquire the technology for ourselves to protect our territory. The Romulan Republic wants to capture Tolar and prevent yet another schism among their people. They have stated they will accept whatever decision the Alliance makes regarding the technology. The Federation Council wants to stop Tolar, but are hesitant about using a technology we know nothing about. They want the technology studied before we can decide to use it. Why don't you contact the other ambassadors and introduce yourself and get a feel for their points of view before we get started? Let me know when you're ready to beam aboard. Jerrickson out.
Continue.
All right, talking to the Klingon flagship. So, you are the one who discovered the Nadari technology. I have read the reports. You fought bravely, as did the Federation in our war. It is a shame we could not finish that fight. I have long wondered which of us would truly prove the victor. But let us not dwell on past battles. We must focus on what lies in front of us. And what lies in front of us is Tolar and his extremists. We must do all we can to defeat him. I hope you agree we must use all means at our disposal to defeat them together as allies.
The ambassador is leaking. I want to ask him about the scar. Can I ask him about the scar? I want to ask him about the scar.
Don't ask him about a scar.
None of these options to ask.
I want to ask him about a scar because it seems like he just got like cut 5 minutes ago. It's like, what was he doing? It's just like he just got in a fight with a Targ.
Which option should I choose?
Indeed. It will be a glorious battle.
Aha!
Ha! I knew that there was a war among the Federation. Others may cling to their scientific pursuits, but you hear the call of battle. Perhaps the heart of the Klingon beats in your chest. And he looks so happy.
Hearts. Klingons have 2 hearts. Anyway. Glory may only be achieved if we first tend to duty and honor. Don't you agree, Ambassador?
Well said. Let us hope we never meet on the battlefield. I would hate to have to cut out your heart. I look forward to our meeting at the conference.
End transmission.
Well, that was a pleasant conversation. I hope the ambassador is just as charming in the conference.
No sarcasm on the bridge, Lieutenant.
All right, talk to the Romulan flagship. You want me to read this, or do
Duncan, you.
I was just kind of going through voices here. I'll just go with the last one. Greeting, Fleet Admiral. On behalf of the Romulan Republic, I welcome you. I would also like to extend my personal gratitude for the help you have given my people on New Romulus. As you know, the Republic has freely shared the information and technology with the we have uncovered both on New Romulus and on the Dyson spheres. We hope you would be willing to do the same with the information you have uncovered about the Nadari.
Thank you, Ambassador. It is my hope we can reach an acceptable agreement as well.
Thank you, neighbor. I am pleased to I am pleased to hear that you say that. I am greatly concerned by the instability within my people, and it is my hope that agreement will be another step towards a new future. Wait. We are picking up something at the edge of the system.
Would you like to put on your sweater first before we...
Well, he's already
continue.
doing that on the view screen. He doesn't need to be told on his run.
Sorry to interrupt, but I can confirm those sensor readings. Let's hope Tolar hasn't discovered the location of this meeting. The Roosevelt will remain here. Fleet Admiral, take your ship and investigate those readings.
On our way.
Would you like to have a little bit of a video before you go? Want to see how crayons are made? Oh, I love that. Basically, how it's
day
made.
in the Beta Quadrant.
It's a beautiful day in the Beta Quadrant. Beautiful day in the Beta Quadrant. Okay, now I want to see how it's made. Because,
Yeah,
I mean, that's basically just... Okay, get a little too sidetracked here by old videos of crayons being made on Mr. Rogers.
The asteroid is comprised primarily of a nickel-iron core. That is not odd, but I am picking up some trace elements not native to this star system. Perhaps the asteroid's course was altered by a nearby passing star. Wait, I am seeing signs of a mining operation on the asteroid's surface. It looks like it might be the victim of mining operations. Oh no! The asteroid's core has been hollowed out and filled with trilithium resin. That's highly volatile. The asteroid is altering course via surface jets. It's heading right for the Alliance ships.
Activate tractor beam. Try and alter its course away from the Alliance ships. They can't move their engines for some reason?
Oh no! It's several thousand kilometers away and approaching at the speed of drift.
Moderate damage, but nothing we can't repair. However, sensors are picking up Imperial Romulan vessels. Looks like a trap.
It's a trap.
Alert. Battle stations. No, I'm not going to do Mr. Roger voice and comment.
All right, so I've only got one ship, which means one of you is stuck with 3.
I've got one.
I've got one.
Okay.
Aha!
Interesting.
Might be grounded, ground to space. Well, no, that happened last time, so maybe he put 3 on the map.
Good work.
I doesn't.
No doubt that was a scout force for Tolar. That makes this conference even more important. If Tolar is bold enough to attack all 3 major powers of the Alliance, then he might be close to his goal. Beam over to the Roosevelt and let's get started.
Ready to beam over at your command.
Away team to transporter room.
See, and you guys thought that, the psychotic voice or the Shatner dying voice was the worst that could possibly happen on tonight's stream.
I for one, did not underestimate you. I was sure you could come up with something worse. I'm sure you can come up with more worse things.
Because I've seen Kung Pao enter the fist. I've got a good backlog in case we get desperate for things that are practically unlistenable.
It's because you know of my deep-seated hatred for that film. If I hadn't been with people, I would have walked out of that film.
It is that kind of movie, but for me, it's in a good way.
All right.
Welcome aboard the Roosevelt fleet, Admiral.
You've already used that voice.
But this is Betty from Kung Pao Into the Fist. I wasn't trying to do Mr. Rogers on that one. Okay, so welcome aboard the Roosevelt fleet, Admiral. Admiral Jerrickson is in the ready room with Ambassadors Kabok and Dinar and is waiting your arrival. They are knitting sweaters.
Which is this way.
Yes.
The Galaxy Bridge Cathedral. Good to see you. And good work out there with the ambush. Let's get started.
Okie dokie.
Thank you all for coming. As you're aware, the Fleet Admiral made a historic discovery with the revelation of a rebellion against the Iconians led by a race of beings known as the Nadari. We further know the Nadari had technology to rival the Iconians, and their rebellion was destroyed by the Iconians through disease. We are not the first to uncover their legacy, however. Admiral Tolar, formerly of the Romulan Empire, has uncovered their greatest weapon, technology that allows time travel and multi-dimensional travel with an ease of use still unheard of by the Alliance. In the Alliance. We are here to discuss how to stop Tolar's acquisition of power. I open the floor to discussion.
Kill them all.
We cannot allow any one person or power outside the Alliance to possess such power. We must obtain that technology for ourselves and ensure that no one can challenge the Alliance.
To what end? We already have access to time travel and multi-dimensional time travel. if we have the technology to make that easier, even easier, what is to stop us from becoming the next Iconians and creating an imperium that will last for 1,000 years by our bloody rule?
We would become the dominant power in the galaxy. We would have peace through superior weaponry. Let us not forget, we did not truly defeat the Iconians. They merely stopped fighting. Our victory tasted like ashes. This would give us the power we need to finally crush them, should they ever rise again.
We can't use technology we barely understand. Yes, we can travel through time, and we have plenty of experience traveling to alternate universes. Personally, I liked the universe that was made entirely of shrimp. But the Federation has rules in place against this for a reason. Messing with time always has unknown consequences. At the very least, whatever technology we find should be studied before it is unleashed on an unsuspecting galaxy. Fleet Admiral, as you and your crew were the ones who made this discovery, you have a say in this effort. You've heard the arguments. What are your thoughts?
I'm pretty good on this because it sounds like the Republic's pretty supportive. Admiral Kamak is going to stab things, and Jerrickson's already got our back.
Yeah, so let's go with no further comments.
Okay.
Very well. It is decided. On to the reason why we are gathered here. The planet below is strewn with ruins dating back to the time of the Nidari Rebellion. Thanks to the data the Fleet Admiral's team recovered, we have identified the planet as a former Nidari archive, something akin to our own Memory Alpha. This could be where Tolar made his discoveries. Fleet Admiral, I'd like you to head up the investigation since you're the closest to the source.
Agreed.
Excellent. Like I gave you a choice. Assemble your team. Your allied contacts will meet you on the ground. Thanks, everyone.
Good luck. Just so we know, we're all counting on you.
We have the coordinates of the site for transport. Please stand by.
Whatever you do, Admiral, don't.
Black hole, we are in a black hole.
Yes,
There
but will
goes
we merge together or separate?
This is what it's like being inside a transporter beam.
Actually, they showed what it was like being inside a transporter beam. It was all glittery.
Oh no, space bombs!
But you mean you're not seeing shimmery stuff right now? Or is that just me?
I'm seeing a penguin turning into a sofa, turning into a street in London.
Is there a pub on the street in London?
It's now split into 1,000 balls of yarn. This may be infinite improbability drive.
I had a feeling that's where you're going with it.
we've somehow strayed into Requiem for a Dream.
All right. So you guys are in a different instance, but I have my full away team.
He changed the lighting.
It's nighttime, but I can still see everything.
All right. So I'm going to
Good
run
choice.
towards the Romulans, studying the obelisk. Talk to Sub-Commander Sonara. Julant true, Admiral. You arrived at the most opportune time. The artifact here is exhibiting some strange properties. They have some kind of signal coming from the artifact, and my equipment is recommending that I match the subspace frequency. Then run the signal through the universal translator.
Continue.
I confess that my area of expertise is not subspace frequencies. I'm a cultural archaeologist. Would you be willing to give us a hand?
I can delegate.
That's not my specialty either, but perhaps one of my crew can help.
Thank you so much. I'm transmitting my findings to you now.
Continue. I can. Wait, let's see. Let's see. I can confirm the base findings. There is indeed a signal coming from the artifact, and we should be able to easily match the frequency to get the message. Hey!
What is it?
My tricorder just went dead. It has absolutely no power, like me, Wimplo.
That's odd. Try another.
Here, take mine.
Thanks. Now, I was saying, we just need to match the frequency of the signal coming from the artifact to see if we can decode the signal. You have to be kidding me.
Don't tell me.
Yes, Fleet Admiral, the tricorder is now dead as well. This time, I registered a power spike coming from the artifact, just as I was beginning to scan it.
Options. It could be a defensive mechanism. Perhaps we should look away for a way to disable whatever this is.
We could use the ship's power sensors suite to broadcast a multispectral resonance pulse that should overload whatever systems are in place around the artifact to let us study it in more detail.
Continue.
Agreed, but every time we direct any scans towards the artifact, the equipment goes dead. We should be wary of the ship's sensor suite since we don't know what the response would be. What if this thing kills the ship's power?
Well, I was trying to match the frequency of the artifact to determine the source of the signal, but I was attempting to do so by measuring the artifact itself, which triggered the defense mechanism. Perhaps a passive scan can determine the factors we need to in order to discover the frequency of the artifact signal so we can match it and disable the device. That's a long sentence.
Very well. What do you need?
One way to determine the frequency is to discover the wavelength and the velocity of the wave? Okay. I think we will be able to measure that by passively scanning the waves emanating from the artifact. Then I will need to apply the formula. Frequency is the result of the wave's velocity divided by the wavelength.
Missing a D divided by the way there.
All right, instituting a passive scan.
Math time.
Dun dun dun.
You think about it, I mean, your average Starfleet officer really would have to be an expert in a lot of math.
Yeah. So it's W divided by D, or V, wavelength divided by velocity.
Okay, bring up a calculator here. I did not attend Starfleet Academy.
Oh, they've also got calculator implants by this time.
All right. It's wavelength divided by velocity?
Yeah. I'm going to check the communication log real quick.
So 567 divided by 935, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, it's velocity divided by the wavelength, so V over W.
So
Okay, that makes more sense.
935 divided by 567.
Which gives me like 1.649029998. Did I not type something incorrectly?
Yeah, I'm going to take a look back.
Nope, got the same number.
Okay, so it's velocity divided by wavelength.
What do we need?
It might be like he starts making some comments about scientific notation, so it's...
Since the wave is traveling in meters per second, we need first to convert the wavelength from nanometers to meters. For example, if a wavelength was 322 nanometers, the process of converting the meters would be
a unit conversion
formula.
A unit conversion should be a standard feature on a tricorder.
Given that we have a wavelength of nanometers. Converting it to meters would be...
Well, that's just shifting the decimal point around, though.
It ought to be.
Yeah, because we're effectively
So
just...
5.67 or...
Well, add 7 zeros.
Add 7 zeros. So 0.0000567.
I'm just going to go with that.
Okay.
Correct.
Apparently
Correct.
that was correct. He may have used the wrong numbers there, because that definitely wasn't what we were originally given.
Now we can move on to determining the frequency. If we convert the wavelength to scientific notation, we have 5.67 times 10 to the something minus 7 meters.
10 to the negative 7.
10 to the negative 7th, yeah. We just need to apply the formula from the data we gathered. The velocity is 935 meters per second, and the wavelength is 5.67 times 10 to the negative 7th meters. I like how one of the answers is 42.
Okay, so yeah, it's one. It's the last one.
16.49 times 10 to the 8th hertz.
Yep, except it should be 1.649 times 10 to the 9th. Because I don't know why he's using scientific notation, then shifting the decimal point around to give us 16 rather than 1.649.
I'll take your word for it.
Correct.
That's it. I have a frequency match. I'm sending this to the ship and having them target the artifact to disable its defense systems. Stand by.
Okie dokie.
Dramatic pause.
Dun, dun, dun. Excellent work. I'm getting all kinds of readings now. It'll take more time to analyze this data. Wait, something is happening. There are some strange readings here.
Fleet Admiral, we're losing our lock on you. Can you read me?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me? All I can see is black.
And a strange outline, like a TOS view screen.
Wait, we're flying now, and just there's some lights ahead of us, and we're just gonna shout, "Where are you? Where are you? We're not Counselor Troy at all. Wrong dimension.
Wrong episode."
The rule of these things is the longer we go, the worse it gets.
Yeah, basically.
Now there are these little lights down at the bottom of the view screen. And text. It says loading Foundry mission.
We're here.
We seem to have been transported underneath the planet's surface. My scans show that we are approximately a kilometer below the planet's surface. I can't raise the ship or anyone on the surface, but there is a controlled environment here. I am reading a low-power environmental system. The air is a bit stale, but otherwise sustainable so long as we don't stay down here too long.
Very well. We obviously triggered something on the artifact. Let's investigate.
And dense.
Working out my big honking rifle just in case.
Yeah, there's a Guardian here.
I am the Guardian.
We all wanted to do it.
Guardian.
No, I am the Guardian.
No, I am the Guardian.
I am the Guardian.
I am the Guardian. You may go no further on pain of death, unless you prove yourselves worthy. Do you accept the challenge?
No.
All right, I can see Drogon's the Guardian. I guess I'm ready. Can't contact your ship, but that will not stop you from firing phasers.
they're just like guessing. Use
1
the
kilometer
force.
down, and they managed to hit only the enemies and not you.
That's because my bridge officers have the force.
Well, he also has standing orders. If they ever lose contact with the ship, they just fire everything.
Yeah, chances are, I mean, you might not hit someone.
You are a worthy fighter, and have proven your strength. Your next trial awaits. You may proceed.
Now, this is kind of an unusual test for like a Guardian, presumably covering for ancient technology, because it's like, well, you can have it, but only so long as you're really powerful, and you can probably kill lots of people.
Hey, I'm just glad there's no more math puzzles.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume there will be.
Before you go, I've got this calculus homework to do tomorrow. Can you do this optimization problem with a stream that curves around a house at these points, and what's the least distance someone has to cover to fill the bucket?
Greetings, child. Long have I awaited your arrival. I am Eufron. I am one of 2 survivors of a long-dead race. I know why you are here. Our ancient storehouses of knowledge have been pilfered by one who is unworthy. The Dark One and his children have been awakened.
Yeah, I don't get it.
My people were highly advanced in our time. We became arrogant and sought to unseat the Iconians as masters of the cosmos. The leader of our military force, the Rock, began a campaign to smear the Iconians. He convinced my people that the Iconians were our enemies. I thought his color choices were silly, personally.
I was going to go with, like, campaign to smear the Iconians with something, and just, like, it just touches Taket's face with jelly, rubs it.
He said it was mud. I did not believe him.
The leaders... okay, I read that part. We attacked first by destroying one of their colonies. We started a war with the Iconians, one that divided the galaxy.
What happened?
We lost. It was kind of sad.
We just kind of folded overnight, and no one really cared, and we just went to work the next day and tried to forget about it.
Personally, I blame not bringing enough pamphlets.
It's better that we lost. The paperwork for victory is a nightmare.
The administration cost would bankrupt us.
I was leader of a small faction of my people who tried to get others to see that we were destroying ourselves by fighting with the Iconians. But Larok, he held sway over them and had a better dental plan. Nothing I did worked. As the war groaned on, Larok became more obsessed with survival. He sent envoys into the restricted areas of the galaxy where the younger races were just beginning to develop.
For what
purpose?
He wanted to create a loyal army of expendable soldiers that he could throw at the Iconians until his ultimate weapon was ready. He was so excited that he got to throw waves and waves of soldiers in his name. He killed countless millions in pursuit of his army. until he found a race of beings with highly planted and compatible genetic possibilities. To us, the planet was called Nifar 3, but you might know it more by its common name, Earth.
No. I'm kind of angry, but this is...
Lurok used ancient Terrans for his army?
Yes, he and his people even ruled Earth as gods for a time. But you may be aware of the crude depictions of my people in ancient Earth cultures. The Rock took many Terrans and experimented on them to create a whole new race, a half-breed of Nidari and Terran. He called them the children of Lurok. He was really obsessed about naming things after himself. Or
The ego
as
on
they
this
would,
guy, seriously.
or as they became known in the tongue of my people, the Ilurok. You would not have heard of them before. They have been careful, but now that Lurok's intermediary, Tolar, has stolen the secrets here, the Lurok and his children have awakened and are now on the move.
You mentioned a weapon.
Yes, it was a genetic weapon designed to destroy Iconian physiology. Spies of the Iconian discovered the weapon and modified it to use against my people. Then we stole it and modified it back. And then they stole it and modified it back again. It was their weapon of last resort, and as Lurok prolonged the war, my people were sacrificed on the altar of the greater good.
That's horrible. It's genocide.
Yes, but my people need not have died in vain. You can still stop Lurok and find the ill Lurok and discover their plan and put a stop to it. Tular may have stolen some of my data, but not all. I will grant you access to it. Just don't look at the folder marked private.
Please, do not access my browser history.
Do not search Google for the word Splorknock.
But there is one last test to prove you are worthy of receiving the knowledge I possess.
But you just told us everything!
Tell me, this is their test. Can you do the Macarena?
The artifact behind me contains knowledge you can use to help in your fight against the ancient enemy. But first you must pass this final trial.
Why?
What must
Why
I do?
do we need to pass a trial? You
It
told us
involves
everything.
complex calculus.
What must I do?
What
Child.
is your favorite color?
Don't patronize me. I'm not a child. I am a clone.
I was old when your race was still primordial ooze, and now I am now beyond ancient. I was given immortality to ensure the knowledge passed to the right people. For as long as I have watched you, I believe you to be that person. But in order to prove it, you must end my watch over this place. In short, you must kill me, child.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
I will. I'll do it. Give me do you have a hammer? I'm sorry. There's good dramatic dialogue here, but there are some ways it's sort of like shoehorning things in. That's just like, you could do this, apply someone to this without involving like validating ancient Earth conspiracy theories. So it's just like, no, not
what made it somebody other than Terrans, you know?
Yeah, because it's kind of like one of those things where you have to sort of presume someone's playing as a Terran for the impact. Because from my perspective, it's just you said a name of a species. So
Technically, I am playing a Terran.
Okay, so you're playing a Terran.
I'm playing someone who knows Terrans.
I've got a bridge on. Like I've got
I've
someone who
Terran friends, lots of
knows
them,
Terran and is dating a Terran wannabe. So
Some
It's
of my
just one
best
of those
friends are
things-
Terrans.
Yeah, so it's sort of like there's a lot of good writing here for the sort of the moment-to-moment stuff. Little overlong, but it's the Terran thing. It's just like it's kind of like just like my brain got hit by a brick.
Well, it's because it's been done so many times now.
Well, it's
Stargate and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Although if this was more of a Dark Stargate reference, that'd be pretty cool.
I would have made it.
I do not understand.
The altered. It would have altered ancient Voth, because then you could use the mobs that are dinosaurs with freaking lasers on their heads.
Oh yeah, that too.
Actually, that would have been a kind of a cool feint, is that you did all this setup like ancient Earth, and then it turns out it's the Voth that they're actually talking about.
Like,
anyway, we can.
Yeah, anyway.
Do you want me to continue?
Yeah. What?
If you must.
We
Although my body has long since turned to dust, my consciousness exists in this contract as an artificial life form. I've even got IE8 installed.
I'm still running Vista. Unfortunately.
Would you like to watch a video in Microsoft Media Center?
Hey, I liked Microsoft Media Center.
I've got that still, and yeah.
A program represented by what you would consider a hologram. Once access to this program is granted, my purpose will be complete, and I will no longer have any reason to exist. Plus, I played Solitaire like 17 billion times.
Oh, you know what he's doing? We're just turning off the projector so he can just browse the net. Because he's been watching Jagoro. I mean, I don't think that's innocent.
I have seen civilizations rise and fall over eons, only to be replaced by countless times by new civilizations. The Ularok represent the darkest potential of your people. They are you, if you had never overcome your prejudices. Now that you know what you face, I ask that you grant me peace. Once you have the knowledge I possess, I will wish to finally rest and join the rest of my people. Will you help?
I would.
Would be happy to.
Just serious point of feedback. A yes option would be good because you sort of want to allow players who kind of have the GS already on board to proceed with the mission without sort of forcing this vacillation. Give it to like players who really want to explore the moral choice, but if someone is like, okay, I understand, let them sort of move on through this. What would you ask?
Access the data stored on the artifact. It will grant you access to all you need to know to fight the Ularok and their master.
Does this cause you any pain? I'm not saying that's a deal breaker.
No. This will be like falling into a much needed sleep for me. I'm actually very much looking forward to it.
You and me both.
Yeah. That last line's kind of a little dark there because we've already sort of got the impression that he's wanting this, but he's like, I'm really
he's like super old,
Yeah, it kind of
at a
seems
certain
like
point it's like yeah.
He's like chipper about it. It's like I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah. Just press the button.
Death, the final frontier.
And yeah. So anyway.
Very well, I agree. The construct behind me is ready to be accessed. Thank you for this compassionate act.
And using Windows version 3.0 or 3.1.
Please upgrade me from Windows ME.
ME is nothing but pain.
You scan with your tricorder to access the device. The databanks quickly fill up. The Euphorian stares blankly at you before speaking in an ominous tone. See if I can
Before
do an ominous
sparkling
tone.
like Edward.
Your device is not advanced enough to see our gift and our curse. Fear not. We have seen to it what you need is transferred to your vessel. In the determination to fight the Iconians, we commit the greatest sin. You must be the ones to correct this, for the organization you serve suffers because of this. You must stop the children of Larak before it is too late. Your mind is suddenly overwhelmed with swirling images of Ufron's people suffering on an unknown world. They burn in a fiery death as they scream, and you feel a sharp pain in your head. The world around you fades.
And before you see a folder marked private. I did not mean to transfer that.
That pain you're feeling is just me jabbing you in the head with a fork.
Do not fret, child. Soon all will be set right. Only you can prevent another tragedy at the hands of Larak. Find his children, save them. I have done all I can. However, we will speak once more before the end.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
I will appear to you while you're bathing. So overall, on that one, some good writing.
It was
some
definitely
choices.
an exposition dump.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of.
But it's something to set you on the path.
Yeah. So it kind of like he got more comfortable writing with this one, and then sort of went a little too far, because
it can be a little easy to go too far.
Yeah. Because on this one,
we've all been there.
We had 2 introductions. One was the Section 31, sort of like watch your back, and then we had another briefing with the ambassadors. Then we had some combat. Then we had another briefing with the ambassadors, and then we just had a briefing with this guy. So a lot of that could probably be condensed and also broken up more with combat objectives, because we only have had 2, and interact with someone.
So you're saying the alternate title could be a series of unfortunate briefings?
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's good that the author's trying to sort of branch out more from what they did for the episode 1. It's just there's still that balance to maintain, and you just have to find it just by trial and error, seeing what works, what doesn't. Just like, hey, does this feel good?
But I mean, just looking at this mission overall, it's clear that this is a relatively new author. So
yeah. But yeah, I'm just pleased that he is doing that experimentation. That's for me the encouraging, encouraging.
All right, so I don't see you guys, so that means that you're somewhere else.
Yeah.
Steaming
So
bug.
I'm going to talk
We're
to
talking to
Subconnector
Sonar.
Sonar.
All right, I'll take this one. Are you all right? What happened down there? You just disappeared for hours, and now you appear, but out of thin air. It's like you had some type of beaming technology. There weren't even any transporter signals to trace.
Our mission here is over. We need to meet with the Alliance Command. I have something to report.
No, for all she knows, we were just hiding in a hole and surprised her.
We were taking a siesta.
While she was doing complex math problems. What do you mean? What have you learned?
It's a long story. We'll have to discuss it with Alliance Command.
Turns out the History Channel was right.
Aliens. Are you reading me? We're under attack by Tolar's forces. We need you back here immediately.
Okay. We have reestablished our lock on you. Ready to
On the
beam
plus
your
side,
board.
if the teaming bug holds true to course, we should be
We
together
might be
again.
together for this one.
Aha. You know, one thing the author could have done there too, this is just more in the advanced category, is that you can actually replicate the last 3 maps just by, you've got your outdoor base map, we have the transition to the other place, and then that's just built as a custom map that all spawns on that trigger and then all despawns once we finish up with Alien Dude.
I don't know if this author is up to full custom builds yet.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying as a way of updating the mission in future.
Looks like we are not together.
I'm seeing Starbuck.
Oh, you guys are together and I'm not.
That's a new one.
That's a new one. Tolar's forces have come for the knowledge we gained from you, Pharaon. We have to stop them. The Roosevelt is disabled, as well as the rest of the task force. It's up to you. Great, so I don't even have any allies. We can't let Tolar get access to what we have been entrusted with.
Okay. Alliance vessel, you will stand down immediately and clear the way for our forces. Reclaim this planet in the name of the Romulan Star Empire.
I'm afraid that
Reclaim
will
this land for Spain.
not be happening today.
You have gained full access to the knowledge of the planet, haven't you? Surrender, or I will take your ship apart and I will find you. Oh, God. That
Can't
hurt.
even maintain it.
No, that one, no.
Battle stations, quickly, before Duncan gets blown up.
I'm good.
Now, with this firepower of this fully armed and operational player character.
Once Jagoro remembers to hit the button to turn on the feedback pulse as in the anti-death field. Wait, that's at level -5. Oh, these guys are only spawned to
they're at my level. I'm 5 levels below you.
There we go.
Because I haven't leveled up Starbuck yet.
Oh, Romulan ships are closing.
Emergency power to weapons.
They're doing their final liquidation sale.
Ship can't take much more punishment.
Everything must go.
Acknowledged. Admiral, what is your status?
We're on emergency power. I can't raise other ships. Tolar's forces knew exactly where to hit us.
Well, they sent a slow-moving asteroid in our direction, so yeah.
Incoming!
Duck! Open the transport menu. There we go.
I hurl my space magic at you.
Eat fireball. Wait. I got it. Eat fireball thrown by a tardigrade riding on a broom.
And that's your sneak peek of Duncan's next tardigrade art.
I don't know what's going to be used. The Herc riding a tardigrade was kind of the, like, I don't know what to do after this.
Admiral, we were reading 50 Romulan ships closing. We can't stand against that.
We can hide against that, though.
We can get the F out of here.
We can't let Talar get access to our data. We may not have a choice.
Fleet Admiral, something... Oh, go ahead.
Fleet Admiral, something is happening with the ship's computers. I took it on the bridge. The data we've stored from the surface is rewriting several system subroutines. I should have been paying attention and quarantined the alien data, but oh well.
I'm reading power levels increases to all ship systems. Weapons, shields, sensors, they're all operating at nearly 300% above specifications. This should not be possible.
They have engaged this North Star protocol. Oh no.
I think our friends on the surface might have had something to do with this. Status on the Romulan ships. They will be in weapons range shortly. I don't know that I trust whatever it is going on with our ship systems, but if my readings are correct, we might actually stand a chance here. So, orders?
Hail.
I hope whatever Euphoron has done to your ship holds against those ships. The Alliance vessels can't stand a pounding. You should take that data and get it to the Alliance hands back on Earth.
Admiral, with respect, we're skedaddling. It's been nice knowing you.
You're on your own.
Bye, you're an admiral. I'm just a captain, technically.
Commendable, but I'm afraid that's an order.
I prepare to take us out.
The Romulans have enacted some kind of dampening field that is collapsing our warp field. We couldn't leave now, even if we wanted to.
Dun dun dun.
We're in for it now. Helm, move us to a protective position in front of the Alliance ships.
Increase the flash Gordon noise and put more science stuff around the ship. Red alert battle stations.
Should be very angry with him, but I'm glad you're here. We'll talk about this if we're still around. My crew is working as fast as they can. Good luck.
We're all counting on you.
So if I was setting up this battle and I wanted to simulate that the ship had become superpowered, I would just replace all of these with like weak ships and.
Oh yeah, like
I think he did. Because
those
I just killed those with, yeah.
Oh, those were frigates. You could go one step further, and make them fighters.
Yeah, but if you just make them weak, then they won't move as weird as if they were fighters.
I would still do fighters.
I am Tolar! You will have something that is rightfully mine. If one of your ships can stand up to all of mine, then you unlock the last of that Inferno program secrets. I will have what you have. My people deserve it.
Oh, he's whiny though.
My people deserve it. Sorry.
People deserve it. Lock weapons.
You know I'm not going to do that.
I
Then you will die. Of course, all ships, open fire.
I do appreciate the customization there because he used the Podwar color.
Yeah, I think these are weak mobs.
Yep, because they're spawning 3 at a time too.
Two at a time.
Oh, 2. Well, we got 3 over here. So okay, so then yeah.
Either weak mobs or frigates, something. Like that.
Probably weak mobs, and we're just scaling up for more people here.
Yeah, possibly.
Man, they don't even survive long enough for me to fire out the phaser Lotus.
The rest of Tolar's fleet is withdrawing. It looks like whatever Ufaron's upgrades were, they were no match. They were more than a match for Tolar.
Don't get cocky.
And thus, it seems, all that extra power pouring through the ship's systems has burned almost every primary relay we have on the ship. Secondary and tertiary backup systems have been brought online, and we are operating at a severely reduced capacity. It's a good thing Torlar withdrew when he did. We will need to put into port for some more serious overhaul work.
What about the dampening field Torlar's forces put up? Can we leave?
The field is down, I guess. Tolar wanted to leave before we could.
Very well. Contact the Roosevelt. Nicely done. We've just gotten warp drive online. We should get to Starsider Station. We could use a rest and recovery. I've contacted Starfleet Command. They're sending a task force of ships to guard the planet. They should be here any moment. Too late to do any good. Jerks. And we will guard this planet from any other interlopers. Alliance science teams will continue to study what we've uncovered here.
All systems are online and Alliance ships are reporting. Warp drive starting by.
Medic!
Engage course for Starbase Starsider. Engage.
Well, all bridge consoles are filled with C4, so...
This is what happens when you make things out of explodium.
Yeah, so it was unconventional for how we solved that problem. But I kind of think that you could have also just sort of used the incoming task force as sort of the timer for driving Tolar off, and then we're just sort of in a desperate last stand. Just to sort of heighten up the drama without having to resort to a...
yeah, and then the
major
cavalry
plot device.
arrives.
Yeah, because then we can sort of go through the same
I'm
series
getting
of
the heck out of
events.
here.
he goes through the same characterization, but we don't have the magic MacGuffin as sort of the front and center thing. Two ships again. Oh wait, three ships.
Yep.
Behold my rainbow deflector.
That's what saved us last time. Use the
Skittles power.
Well, you use the power of friendship in tardigrades.
That was a narrow miss. Nice work out there. You've earned a rest, and we have a lot of data to research. Tolar's obsession with the Nadari is very concerning. We need to know what he knows and what he intends to do with that knowledge. I'll contact you as soon as we have more. Until then, you are dismissed. That's Starfleet for get out. I'll be sure to inform Starfleet Command of your excellent work today. Jerrickson out.
Okie dokie.
Da-da-da.
All right.
So let's see.
I didn't write anything. I figured we could put a link to this in his thread.
Oh yeah.
Listen to our excellent commentary.
Make sure
and he can totally add to the dialogue. You know, like the thing I said about the universe made entirely of shrimp.
Okay. And yeah, make sure to include profuse apologies as well. I mean, that's it's like it's just like a running banner.
We liked it though.
I mean, it's one of those.
I like where this is going. You know,
I gave him 4 stars.
I think he's expanding his skills as he goes along, quite clearly. So I think this is going in good directions.
Yeah, I mean, the story itself, I mean, it's kind of going up from the standard sort of Romulan has a science lab and we have to stop because that's, something that the main game's done, to this more inventive plot. And there's a lot of pieces juggling around. I do really like that Section 31, like, watch your back at the start and us moving here. So it creates this nice throughput that later missions can sort of take up on. I just think
he introduced some characters.
He introduced some characters. I'm not sure that the ambassadors were really for this episode. They did a whole lot because we had the briefing, so we had so much setup of those guys, and then they didn't even sort of factor into the major battle at the end. So they're just sort of completely on the sidelines. And
I would like them to do more in future missions.
Yeah, and then map construction. I think it kind of feels like less went into this one. Because the space map on the Romulan, for the Romulan colony we went to in the last one, had so much more to that. I mean, this is a pretty good map as well, but we're not using that to its full potential.
We're not doing anything here yet.
And then the space map, the combat that we had in the sort of the big climax moment was just an open space.
So did you guys leave reviews?
No, because you said link.
Well, even if you don't fill out anything, you should leave a review.
Oh, yeah.
Because it needs 2 more to get out of review.
Yeah, I definitely left a review.
Okay.
I couldn't tip, though, because we'd already did one today. By this author. But, I think, very good work for someone who's new and sort of getting to grips with how you balance combat and story. So you sort of, I think they just overcorrected a little bit on this one. So just with the next one, just work on that balance a little bit more and sort of space more action within those around those long dialogue dumps. Just more activities, more going on, and just sort of keep spinning that way, because that does help break the feeling that we've just gone from one briefing to another briefing to another briefing.
So something I will compliment him on is the overall playtime. He's hitting right at the perfect time for a Foundry mission.
Yeah, the last one
we did 2 of these in our usual 2-hour time slot.
So it was averaging about 45 minutes each, and
we're
a little bit slow when we're playing through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're doing the narration, but it's definitely he is making use of the fact that this is a multi-part series, so he's not trying to cram so much into a single episode that it sort of starts based on sort of where logical connections are, that it doesn't overstay its welcome. So that is
so far, the 2 episodes have ended in good spots for episodes to end.
yeah, it's dramatic, it's compelling. You kind of want to you want to figure out what's going to happen next, what the character relationships are going to be, and whether or not the admiral we're working with is Section 31 person.
Is he on the level? Are the ambassadors? Are they on the level?
I get the impression it's
these are the
the
questions.
author's main character.
Yeah, that's kind of the sort of the admiral sort of helping you out, like at the start as your main point of contact. That generally does fit with new authors establishing themselves with their character. I mean, Admiral Aaron's kind of the sort of the highest profile example, but Admiral Aaron just he does go a very long way for establishing that character and having fun with it. Sort of beyond the typical norm, but I've seen a lot of first time Foundry missions having a senior admiral being the one that's really guiding you through these missions. Also, Cold Blue Space. Overall, very nice work for a pair of first missions, especially with tackling them as a integrated series. That's always a little bit of more of a challenge than just trying to create a one-off as your first project.
Yeah, only crazy people do things like that.
Yeah, well, no. I built mine as my first project, as sort of like a standalone with maybe I could continue characters on, but I didn't create a sort of connected plot line.
Yeah, except the two other people here in this particular stream did that.
Yeah.
For their first missions.
And I'm still paying for it.
I made a 5-parter. he made a 3-parter, or I assume it's going to end with part 3.
Yes.
No. Come on. I mean, there could be a part 4, right?
The mythical part 3.
Just watch.
Legendary.
I will get part 3 done, and then I'll just start getting hit with questions about where's part 4.
Sequel. Another 3 episodes.
No, by the end of 3, you will be back in the Alpha Quadrant.
But we could go back
Finally,
out again.
after 5 years. 5 long years.
There's just an alternate version of yourself, just long bearded, the ship's a complete mess. We've just been floating at space the whole time.
Posted a screenshot on Twitter of my inbox in stone. It's just got a list of when is part 3 coming.
All right, guys. Well, that about does it for us tonight. So, Dragoon, if you want to put up our contact info.
Okay. We can be reached by email at foundryroundtable@live.com. We are also on Twitter at foundryroundtab. Drogon can be reached at Drogon1701. Duncan can be reached at Gorgonops_SSF. Mark can be reached at Markhawkman. And I, of course, can be reached at Greendragoon.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks to the author for making these missions.
Oh yeah.
And we will say goodnight.
Good night.